The prospects of improving the adoption and compliance level came to the fore at the maiden Nigerian Investment Performance Stakeholders Conference in Lagos, hosted by KingsThrones Advisory Services. It brought together key players in the Nigerian financial market space. Giving his opening remarks, the CRO of KingsThrones Limited, Mr. Akin Adebiyi, gave some insight into why the Investment Performance Stakeholders Forum and GIPS adoption was critical to the growth of the Nigerian financial market.
Data is the new hydrocarbon, my people. But the peculiar thing, however, is that for our trade, investors will, by this AI, be mining data for decision making at virtually nil, zero cost, and at the speed of light. Now, in such keenly competitive situations, imagine yours, I'm talking about your own data now, failing the test of comparability for inclusion in the globally available array. So after you ask your PA, show me data from Nigeria, and it cannot show anything beyond this slide, that will be very sad. One thing qualifies you for that comparability, that is the credibility of the report that you are presenting by way of GIPS. Now, the era is so much upon us already, where the first screen for manager selection is GIPS compliance. And today I must tell you, the database is gradually being built. It is welling up with information on GIPS compliant firms across the globe. So in another 30 years, where will your business be? Please make no mistake about this, my people. GIPS isn't only about past performance or track records. Rather, it speaks much more to the quality and consistency of the manager's investment decision-making process, which is the ultimate in performance delivery. Your GIPS compliant performance presentations, therefore, are the true reflections of how your investment management process turn out eventually, and at the same time questions your ability to either sustain or adjust to investor expectations. GIPS looks more into the future, as we have already seen, than we may erroneously have believed till date. Now, adopting GIPS, therefore, is a two-pronged pursuit of excellence. First, for the ultimate interest or benefits of the client, and as well for the enhanced efficiency and effectiveness of the manager's internal operations and strategy. This I can tell you from experience. Whether the sell or the buy side, forecasting has remained perhaps the most difficult aspect of our business. And so, we cannot always accurately predict the future, but we can always work with the available historical records in doing so. But then again, we are available. How reliable are these historical records? To what extent can we really build on them for making critical decisions, especially when it's about other people's monies, our clients' monies?
Mr. Bismarck Rewani, CEO of Financial Derivatives at the event, harped on the need for reliable and credible market information in the country.
The reality is that we want an efficient market where information is transparent and accurate, and therefore people can make decisions, right or wrong decisions, or decisions whatever, based on information which is reliable. Asymmetric information is the basis on which people make supernormal profits, but it's also the basis on which imperfect markets are made. This country is moving from imperfect markets towards perfect markets. The political cycle is based now on social media, where before you say Jack, everybody knows about it. And the data which we use, GPS, right, GIPS as you call it, IFRS 9, all of this is about putting the facts as they are so that people can make decisions based on reliable information that has integrity. I think that's important. But one thing, before I leave, I just want to make a comment about the most important data point in any economy, in any part of the world, is your population. If you don't know how many you are, then you cannot even provide them. Your mother would tell you that when you come back from school, all of you come back from boarding house, the amount of money she requires or requests from your father to go to the market is based on the fact that you know the kids are back. We are now 9 in the house rather than 3. Therefore, I need 300% increase in the amount of money I have to take to the market. So, population data from the home to the firm, to the company, to the commune is very important.
In her goodwill message, the Group CEO of United Capital, Mrs. Toyin Sonny, listed the benefits Nigeria would derive from adopting GIPS.
For me, I believe that the benefits cannot be overemphasized. First of all is the credibility that it will give to our reports when we begin to report in accordance with global standards. Secondly is it makes our market very attractive, and it makes it easy for international investors who want to take a position in our market to assess the products and the offerings and the performance that we're reporting in line with standards that they are familiar with, and they're not trying to just go back and reappraise. And of course, if we also want to pitch to manage funds maybe on the regional level, or you want to participate in an international RFP, when you show your track records in compliance with the GIPS standards, it becomes very easy for them to appraise you. So it makes you attractive. And I also know that in terms of investor confidence, and this is an area where we have had problems in this market, and we all know it. So it will increase investor confidence when the investors know that our reports not only comply with global standards of best practice, but that these reports have also been verified and gone through all the rigorous process that Akin has taken us through today. In summarizing, I think it is very clear that measures like this are only successful when they achieve general acceptance. So it's very, very important that we're all here as stakeholders and examining this initiative and the implications. The implications are far-reaching for some of us, and some of it has been examined on this wonderful panel that we just listened to. But when you weigh it against the implication of not coming to the party, then you realize that in the long run you will lose out. So it is better to pay the price now. It is better to come together as a market. It's better to think of common platforms and common ways in which we can even meet the IT requirements and all the other requirements than for us to stand aloof and refuse to play. When there is general acceptance of the initiative, then everybody enjoys the benefit and the value. And of course, the costs are shared and the benefits are shared as well.
The conference featured various presentations and panel discussions on market rules and regulations on performance management, performance reporting framework and market expectations, and adopting the GIPS standards in Nigeria. Mr. Akin Adebi, the chief host, and Mr. Banji Feyintola, President CFS Society Nigeria, speak further on the value of the conference and the opportunities for Nigeria adopting the GIPS.
When you talk about the essence of the GIPS itself, you must have heard, during the sessions, and as we widely publicize in the press releases, it's the beginning of a new era, all right, in transparency, accountability for asset management firms in Nigeria, and of course, by extension, showcase that to the entire world that we are ready, more than ready, for business. You can see already, the quality of people gathered here today. That is a commitment to doing more for the financial market as a whole in Nigeria. So we are looking much into the future to change the game. And when I say change the game, that is make investors more welcome, all right? Because when you put out there figures that are reliable, figures that are believable, figures that are comparable all over the world, what you build is what? Confidence, trust that, a lot of people have, complained in the recent past that have been eroded from a market. So we are really excited. At KingsThrones, it's a journey of about, should I say, 7 long years coming, and we are quite excited that this is happening today, all right? And with support from people like you, we're sure definitely Nigeria is going places.
Earlier on, I talked about the issue of ethics, the issue of an asset manager code of conduct, and most importantly is the issue of trust. If the investment industry does not trust the people managing their investments on their behalf, if they don't trust the data, the performance presentation that you are presenting to them, then you have a situation whereby the industry is a bit dislocated. Now, this is not only a Nigeria problem, it's a problem that applies globally. And I think Nigeria needs to realize that, look, we're at that point whereby your clients are going to demand that you have a better level of professionalism, better level of reporting. And if you don't comply with these things, then people actually have alternatives and options, and they will move their monies to other firms that comply with these things. So I think as an industry, it's very important that people actually move towards adoption of global standards like this. One of the other points mentioned today was the issue of global passporting, right? Very soon, the industry is going to internationalize. We'll have asset managers here that are looking to go global, right? If you don't comply with global standards, you have a problem, because people outside of this country will not be able to trust what you are presenting to them as your historical performance. So I think it's very important, and as an industry, this is going to open a lot of doors. It's going to increase trust, and it's going to increase a lot of flows in terms of money that will come into the industry.
Now, if you look at our traditional asset management segment in Nigeria, and that is a segment that actually predates the pension segment, you'll be shocked to find that the market today, take it as 100%, almost 96% of the market is pension fund. Can you imagine? And the traditional asset management is just about 4%. That means the traditional asset managers are trailing the pension fund. The pension fund just started about 13 years ago. Now, when you have GIPS, we call it the global passport. First and foremost, comparability, right? So it opens up, the practices of our own traditional asset management firms to the entire world. And then definitely people begin to look at you, begin to take you seriously. And then what you have from there is fund flows to Nigeria, all right? When a portfolio manager, say in Singapore, in the US, starts seeing performances from Nigeria that are GIPS compliant, what do you expect, okay? For the pension segment as well, you see the regulator has been talking about transfer window, multi-fund strategy. Now we begin to have, metrics, figures that are reliable coming out from the industry that can actually inform, and reliably so, contributors to the pension fund, all right, to switch, comfortably. So in terms of benchmarking, it's easily achieved, and quite a lot more people are happy for that. So there are, string of benefits attached to being GIPS compliant, but most importantly, we are showing to the whole world that, look, we are ready for business. We are coming much stronger with the transparency, much trustworthy, performances in our industry.
A major takeaway from this forum is the fact that the Global Investment Performance Standards brings credibility to any market in the globe that adopts it. For Nigeria, it is imperative that stakeholders and regulators work in tandem to sensitize firms on the need for voluntary adoption of what will be a definite market game changer.